The iron trap had closed around Tick's hind leg 3 rotations ago. The smallest of the litter, he had wandered too far from the den, chasing the shimmer moths that danced through the violet canopy of Kreshtar. Now he lay whimpering in the clearing, his silver fur matted with dirt and fear scent. The hunters emerged from the tree line, like shadows given form. Vrax hunters, six-limbed predators with compound eyes that glittered with cold intelligence. They moved with the practiced efficiency of those who had done this many times before. Young Kreshatar cubs fetched high prices in the fighting pits of the outer colonies. Tick's ears flattened against his skull. He was barely past his first molting, small, even for his age. His siblings had always been faster, stronger. Now they were scattered across the forest, and he was alone. The largest hunter approached, its mandibles clicking in what might have been laughter. It raised a stun prod, the tip crackling with blue energy. Then the forest exploded with sound. A roar, not from any Kreshatar, but something else entirely, split the air. The hunters spun, weapons raised. From between the ancient trees came a figure that defied their understanding. It walked on 2 legs, impossibly tall, with pale skin and dark hair tied back in a practical knot. But what stopped the hunters cold were the 5 juvenile Kreshtar cubs clinging to her body. One draped across her shoulders, 2 cradled in her left arm, one riding on her back, and another clutching her right side. Ilara's eyes locked onto the trapped cub, then swept across the hunters with a gaze that could melt Duraloy. Step away from the child. The words came out in perfectly accented Vrax, each syllable sharp as a blade. The hunters hesitated. Humans were rare in this sector, and the stories about them varied wildly. Some called them weak, their planet a backwater of no consequence. Others whispered different tales, of a species that had clawed its way up from the bottom of their food chain to dominate their world, that kept predators as companions, that ran prey to exhaustion across entire continents. The lead hunter clicked its mandibles aggressively. Human, this is not your concern. Leave now, and we will forget you interfered. Ilara took a step forward. The cubs clinging to her remained perfectly still, their eyes wide but trusting. She had found them one by one over the past hour, separated from their pack by the hunter's sonic dispersal nets. Each time, she had simply knelt, extended her hand, and waited. Something in her scent, her posture, her presence, had convinced them she was safe. "I'm going to say this once more," Ilara said, her voice dropping to a register that made the hunter's sensory hairs stand on end. "Step away from the cub." The lead hunter made its mistake then. It moved toward Tick with the stun prod. Ilara moved. The hunters had never seen a human fight. They knew bipedal species, slow, clumsy creatures that relied on tools and numbers. What they witnessed instead was a nightmare given flesh. She closed the distance in 3 strides, her right hand shooting out to catch the lead hunter's forelimb. The crack of chitin echoed through the clearing. She pivoted, using the hunter's own momentum to send it crashing into 2 of its companions. The cubs held on, adjusting their grip with practiced ease as if they understood this dance. The remaining 3 hunters attacked in coordination. They were trained, experienced. It didn't matter. Ilara dropped low, sweeping the legs from one hunter while her elbow drove into another's thorax with surgical precision. The 3rd hunter managed to fire its stun prod. The bolt went wide as Ilara twisted, letting it pass harmlessly between her and the cub on her back. Her counterattack was immediate. A palm strike to the hunter's visual cluster, followed by a knee that sent it sprawling. She was careful. Even in violence, she was careful, ensuring the cubs clinging to her remained protected, that no stray blow caught them. The fight lasted 45 seconds. When the last hunter scrambled away, clicking in pain and terror, Ilara was already kneeling beside Tick. She set down 2 of the cubs gently, whispering soft reassurances in their own language, a dialect she had learned from old recordings, from weeks spent observing, from a determination to understand. "Easy, little one," she murmured, examining the trap. "Let's get you free." Her fingers worked with impossible precision, finding the release mechanism the hunters had hidden. The trap opened with a hiss. Tick yelped as blood rushed back into his leg. But Ilara was already there, her hands gentle despite their proven lethality, checking for broken bones, applying a coagulant patch from her pack. "You're going to be okay," she said. "You're all going to be okay." Tick looked up at her with eyes that held the first stirrings of understanding. This creature, this human, had fought 6 armed hunters while carrying 5 cubs, had moved through combat like water through stone, had treated violence as a tool to be used with precision rather than passion. And now those same hands that had broken Custon and scattered predators were cradling him with infinite gentleness. Ilara gathered all 6 cubs close. They came without hesitation now, pressing against her warmth. She closed her eyes, feeling the rapid flutter of their hearts begin to slow. "Let's get you home," she said. As she walked back through the forest, 6 Kreshtar cubs safe in her arms, the trees themselves seemed to whisper. The humans had arrived in this sector only a generation ago, quiet and unassuming. They asked for little, kept to themselves, studied the local ecology with respectful intensity. But the galaxy was learning what Earth's predators had learned millions of years ago, what had been written in tooth and claw and blood across humanity's long climb. There is no more dangerous creature in existence than a human who has decided something is under their protection. Tick nestled closer to Alara's chest, feeling safer than he had ever felt in his short life. He didn't understand much yet, but he understood this. The smallest cub had been trapped, alone, and afraid, and the human had come.